Mark Rylance is just awesome. Can we all just address that right now, that Mark Rylance is just the man? Alright, cool. The BFG. So the BFG is adapted from the children's novel that I remember when I was in first grade. I was looking forward to this movie. I heard Spielberg was doing it. I was excited. I heard Mark Rylance was going to be the BFG. I was like, I want to see this movie today. Basically, there's a little orphan girl. Her name is Sophie. She's very lonely. And the BFG, the big friendly giant, that's what BFG stands for. What else would it stand for, Doom fans? You tell me. What would it stand for? The BFG sees Sophie. He grabs her. He snatches her up. And he takes her to giant country, and that's where they have their adventure. By adventure, I mean really it's a movie about them bonding and being friends. And that's the thing about it. If there's one director out there who can take the premise of a grown giant, a grown man, befriending a little girl and make it not creepy, it's Steven Spielberg. And this really does harken back to his early days of directing, you know, where he made movies about friendship and magic, you know, like Jahns. Alright, fine, E.T. And it's a sweet movie, but at a point, you start thinking about it and you're like, to what end is all this happening? And really the end is them being friends. That's the point of the movie. This movie has the magic awe and wonder that comes from a kid befriending someone from another land and going to their land and seeing their land. It has its fair amount of danger also, as every other giant in giant country eats children. They call them human beings because they are their food. And other than that premise right there, like knowing that happens in the world, there's really nothing gritty enough or dark enough to be like, oh, that's actually going to scare children. In that, it's a bit of a squeaky clean movie. It's a squeaky clean movie about a little girl befriending a giant, and that's what they do. There were a couple of times I was like, can something happen? I don't mean I needed an action sequence or anything like that. I'm just saying I could have gone for something, like something to really throw it in my face, like, oh, whoa, turmoil. Like a giant picking his teeth with someone's bones or something would have been pretty awesome. Granted, you don't want to scare children. I guess that's the difference between me and Spielberg. I would have scared children. But the visual effects in this movie are great. There's so many times I was like, that looks like makeup on Mark Rylance. We're now getting to that moment where CGI sometimes, under the right conditions with the right director, looks more realistic than makeup does. That's actually a pretty sweet time. What a time to be alive. And as I said in the intro of this video, I loved Mark Rylance. I thought he was great. He just brings the BFG to life. He's a sweet runt comparatively to the other giants. I mean, he's huge, but he's not as huge as they are. He has a speech impediment. You just feel for him. He has a big heart, and you just love seeing that. The little girl was great too. I mean, Mark Rylance and her, they really had to bring their A game, because for the majority of the movie, they're the only two real characters in it. So they had to bring their chemistry, but really it's this little girl's acting ability to act against green screen. I don't know how they filmed it. I want to see the making of, because the whole time I'm like, is Mark Rylance there acting with her? Or is she just staring at a big X on a stick and they're like, yeah, that's the BFG's face, so, you know, stare at it and act your best. Either way, good job, kid. I mean, she did a great job in the movie. The movie is pretty squeaky clean. It's an enjoyable movie. It's a nice Steven Spielberg magical movie for kids and families. And if I'm being completely honest, I think it's just nice to see that in this day and age. I walked out of this movie feeling the magic. I enjoyed it. I will say the BFG is a really good time. No alcohol required. For those families out there who told their kids, no, sorry, you can't watch The Purge. Alright guys, so the BFG, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite movie adaptation of the kids book that you loved as a kid? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.